Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. All people, long live. Start with a billion god level halo. Chapter 41. As soon as he was summoned, he shouted that he was going to fight monsters and upgrade. This girl, isn't it a leveling madman? I know you're in a hurry, but don't worry. Chen Yang shook his head and pointed to the outside. It's almost night, and the secret realms outside have basically been beaten, and I can't find any high-quality secret realms when I go out. Also, we've had a busy day and are hungry now and are going out to eat. Do you want to be together? Hear this. The dragon girl Ao Qingyu was obviously a little disappointed. But she didn't say anything, but turned around to observe the environment and walked upstairs. No, I want to practice. But just finished speaking. Goo, her stomach growled. The scene was a little awkward. You really don't want to go? I don't care if I starve to death. Chen Yang looked at her and asked. Quote. The dragon girl, Ao Qingyu, looked a little tangled. In the end, she shook her head. I don't like crowded places. Fine. Chen Yang nodded. It seems that this girl likes quietness, so he will not force it. Then what do you want to eat? I will let someone bring you some. Quote. Ao Qingyu lowered her head and said softly, fish. Steamed or braised? Chen Yang asked again. Steamed. Ao Qingyu turned her face to the side. What fish do you want? Crucian carp, grass carp, silver carp, or something else? Chen Yang then asked. Casual. Ao Qingyu's face turned a little red. Chen Yang looked at her and thought that this girl was quite interesting. She was cold on the surface, but she was actually introverted. Isn't she a little socially afraid? Soon, Chen Yang called Sylvie down and planned to take her out to eat with Isabella. The two women put on more conservative clothes, especially Isabella, who also used their talent to hide their demon horns and tails. Otherwise, going out would cause a sensation. Then, Chen Yang took them out of the villa. They didn't wait for them to leave the community. They saw Su Sheng's and Su Qimeng, father and daughter, and walked back together. There was a smile on Su Shengji's face. Looks like a good mood. As for Su Qimeng, she looks a little dejected. After brushing it all day today, she has worked very hard, but she has only reached level 6, and it will be at least 2 days before level 10. To know, she is already a special class of S-level talent, so it can be said that she is a genius. Even she has risen so slowly, one can imagine how difficult it is for other newcomers to transfer jobs. But, however, she learned from her father that the super genius who robbed her of many bronze copies yesterday was actually over 10 levels. In the morning, I just brushed the gold level team's secret realm. How could she not be shocked? The essential, that super genius is still a woman. It made her even more frustrated. Chen Yang. At this time, Su Qimeng raised her head and saw Chen Yang approaching. Seeing the elf girl behind him and Isabella hiding the devil's horns and tail, Su Qimeng was once again amazed. She met Sylvie once. It was astonishing at the time. The appearance and figure of this elf girl are not worse than hers at all, and even better than her. As for Isabella who appeared now, it made her doubt herself even more. This girl, it looks young, but with a pair of beautiful eyes with a faint temptation, it is too beautiful. Chen Yang, who is this? Su Qimeng couldn't help but ask. It's a friend of mine. Chen Yang introduced it at will. Su Qimeng was obviously not satisfied with this answer, but there was nothing she could do. Originally, Chen Yang didn't plan to talk to her more. However, Su Qimeng suddenly thought of one thing, and took the initiative to ask, by the way, Chen Yang, there will be an auction in Hengwu Mall the day after tomorrow. It is said that there are many low-level platinum equipment auctions. Do you want to go and see it together? Hengwu Shopping Mall auction. Chen Yang thought to himself, isn't this the one he's going to? It just so happened that Ao Qingyu was in the swordsman profession, so she naturally wanted to help her get the original skill book. Certainly, now Chen Yang's magic crystals are definitely not enough, but the speed at which he can earn magic crystals is far faster than anyone else's. There are still 2 days left for the auction the night after tomorrow. The next thing he wants to do is dungeons and secret realms above level 20. How much can he earn in 2 days? Even he himself is unpredictable. Forget it, I'm not interested in those equipment. Chen Yang shook his head and refused the invitation of the school flower. He's going to the auction, but he's going to the VIP seat and doesn't need to show his face. Can imagine. There must be many bidders for the original skill book, and most of them are big shots, and there are even strong people from other cities. Once Chen Yang gets the skill book, it is possible to offend a lot of people. He naturally has to keep a low profile. I'll go out to eat first. Let's talk back. After Chen Yang said goodbye to the other party, he left with the two girls. Seeing his leaving back, Su Qimeng was a little annoyed. Why did this guy reject her again? Are you really not interested in her? Originally, she wanted to go to the auction with Chen Yang. By the way, help Chen Yang to shoot some platinum level summoner equipment. Result, people don't go. Are you embarrassed to spend her money? Qimeng, you don't like this kid, do you? Su Sheng's, who was on the side, was a little surprised. He had never seen his daughter, and he had taken such initiative towards a boy. But this Chen Yang, there may well be a secret behind it. When there was a conflict with people in Hongwu shopping mall, the other party was inexplicably all bald. Until now, Su Sheng's is not sure, is there any connection between the strong man with the ability to curse and Chen Yang? Anyway, Su Sheng's knew that Chen Yang, a rookie summoner, had a physique of a girl's friend. Thanks to this, let him not want to see his daughter and get too close to Chen Yang. No, Su Qimeng was suddenly a little nervous. She immediately shook her head and said, Dad, let's go back. Pity. Su Sheng's didn't know that Chen Yang was the super genius who made him feel better all day in the morning. Otherwise, his attitude would probably have a 180-degree turn. For the father and daughter situation, Chen Yang naturally didn't think much about it. After he left the community with the two girls, he turned on the aura of stealth, 10 times the speed, flying, and attribute doubling, and walked around the city of Zongan at a speed that broke the speed of sound. It can be regarded as taking the two women to experience the customs of the human world. By the way, let them try the snacks of human society. I can tell, as an elf princess, Sylvie seems to really rarely go out. Very happy with this kind of thing. Although she now calls out, Chen Yang big brother, as long as she opens her mouth to call Chen Yang, but she is in a good mood when she can come out to play. As for Isabella, she followed Chen Yang gracefully. From a personality standpoint, just like her wife, she took good care of him along the way and helped him get everything done. This scene, let many passers-by on the way see it, and they are envious to death. It's past 9 o'clock in the evening. Chen Yang took the two daughters and flew back to the villa in Xian Villa. He went to Ao Qingyu's room and put the two steamed perch that he brought back to her on the table. Thanks. Ao Qingyu opened her beautiful eyes and nodded slightly in thanks. Then Chen Yang found out. This girl has been meditating in the room all the time. After such a short time, her overall attributes have increased by as much as 12 points. You meditate and cultivate, and the speed of improvement is so fast. Chen Yang was amazed. You blue star, you have enough spiritual energy, which is very suitable for cultivation. Ao Qingyu said with a slight smile. After she explained, Chen Yang learned that it turned out that her previous attributes of about 200 points were actually obtained by practicing blood for hundreds of years. And the world she was in, it turned out to be the era of the end of the law. Even the Dragon Palace where she is located, the Shenlong family, has lost most of the mana, and even the transformation into a bloodline Shenlong has been restricted. After being summoned here, she found the possibility of promotion. Because of this, she is so eager to upgrade and become stronger. But, Chen Yang still explained the reason to her. Blue Star's monsters mainly have to find dungeons or secret realms, and they are basically finished during the day. Now I have to wait for the secret realm to refresh, and I only get one after a long time, and most of them are low-level dungeons. It is better to go out tomorrow, take the dungeon secret realm distribution map provided by Tian Building, and farm monsters at the fastest speed, which is the most efficient. You have a good rest, and tomorrow you will be several times stronger. After Chen Yang finished talking to Ao Qingyu, she turned and left her room. How many times? The corners of Ao Qingyu's mouth twitched slightly and she shook her head. According to the prompt she got when she was summoned, in this world, the process of fighting monsters and becoming stronger is also very slow. No matter which world you are in, becoming stronger is never easy. Too bad she doesn't know. Chen Yang has countless god-level auras. Take her to upgrade and become stronger, and she can really make her several times stronger than she is now in one day. Soon, Chen Yang returned to his room and called Isabella in. Tonight, he is about to try all kinds of strange god-level auras. He wants to compete with this succubus girl in cooking. Before this, of course, you have to wash the food first. Clean aura. As soon as the god-level cleaning halo comes out, all the ingredients will automatically become smooth and white. Various ingredients are processed one after another, such as white steamed buns, scallops, emperor mussels, milk, purple grapes. What makes Chen Yang sigh is, although it is the first time to cook, Isabella's cooking skills are very good. This is their racial talent. Then, refreshed, enduring, Chen Yang used these two god-level auras, which greatly enhanced his strength, but he still could only draw a tie with her. Until fatal contact. As soon as this god-level halo opened, it finally killed him. Under this halo effect, Isabella can't even hold the ingredients, so what's the point of cooking? Finally, Chen Yang wins big. But what surprised Chen Yang was, under such circumstances, Isabella's whole body attribute increased by 20 or 30 points, and she even unlocked a brand new skill. Darkness deprivation. Unleash the power of darkness, deprive the target of all buffs and transfer them to themselves for 60 seconds. Cooldown for 300 seconds. I have to say, this skill is pretty good. In the face of some opponents with buff flow, this skill is a killer. This kind of innate skill, it is impossible for anyone outside to know. No matter what level of skill book, there is no such effect. Chen Yang couldn't help but sigh. As expected of a succubus. How can this get stronger? It seems that in the future, I will compete more with her in cooking. The next day, early in the morning, Chen Yang took out his mobile phone and ordered some breakfast for the girls. Then he saw the elf princess Sylvie, who walked out of the room with dark circles under her eyes, yawning at the same time. Chen Yang is a little weird. Last night, he turned on the god-level halo and blocked the movement of his room. Why did this elf girl have dark circles? But seeing the phone in her hand, Chen Yang understood what she was doing. This elf princess, holding her mobile phone for a night. Toxic, right? I knew I wouldn't buy you a cell phone. Chen Yang felt a little pain in the ass. Who would have thought that on the first day I bought her a mobile phone, she would play all night? Humph. When Sylvie heard this, she said arrogantly, Chen Yang big brother, you bought me a mobile phone, didn't you just play it for me? This Nima, what kind of arrogance? Also, Chen Yang big brother, let me ask you a question. Then she came over mysteriously. If I and Sister Succubus fell into the river at the same time, who would you save first? Question mark. Done. Chen Yang felt a little dark, this child, stunned. It would be nice not to throw you into the river to save your head. Hand over your phone, Chen Yang ordered out. Sylvie handed the phone to him with a look of grievance. Eat, and go to level up after you've eaten. He reached out and patted the elf girl's head, and went downstairs with her. Chen Yang thought about it. Unlike before, today he doesn't need to search for dungeons or secret realms everywhere. Because, Tian Building will provide him with the updated dungeon secret distribution map around Zongan City today. Today, at least you have to get a gold level dungeon. Of course, it's better to have a platinum level copy. I can give a bunch of diamond level equipment after I finish it. Diamond level equipment, comparable to platinum level equipment, has much better attributes. The most important is, any piece of diamond level equipment can be sold for more than 1 million. Not to mention, it is a diamond level equipment of level 20 to 30, which is more expensive. Because of the dungeons refreshed in this level segment, the lowest is silver, and the highest is diamond. Gold level dungeons are more common, and platinum level dungeons occasionally appear. But more than 20 diamond level copies. Pretty rare. Around the entire Zongan City, 20 to 30 diamond level dungeons can be generated every year, and the number does not exceed 10. It can be seen that the diamond level equipment of this level is very valuable. And Chen Yang, you only need to play a platinum level copy to explode diamond level equipment. Many rich local tyrants like to buy a set of top-of-the-line equipment for their children, and then let their children brush low-level dungeons to obtain exorcism value steadily. Wait until the exorcism value reaches the standard. Put on these high-quality equipment again, and the combat power will take off at once. For example, Su Kimeng. This time, she just wanted to buy a set of level 10 to 20 platinum equipment to improve her combat effectiveness. Under normal circumstances, the mainstream equipment of level 10 to 20 is silver, and the richest ones get gold. Platinum equipment is relatively rare at this level, and even if you produce 1 or 2 pieces, you won't be able to get a complete set. That is why Hong Wuliang, the owner of Hongwu Mall, was so excited when he acquired so many platinum level equipment from Chen Yang. These things, not only does it sell well, but it sells for a very good price. Certainly, the purchase price he bought from Chen Yang was indeed a fool's errand, and he even gave Chen Yang a lot more. It's just that he turned around to go to the auction. If he auctioned these equipments, his profit would be much more than selling equipment through normal channels. To this, Chen Yang didn't care either. For him, the equipment was brushed out in a day. On the contrary, it took more than a day to hold an auction, publicity, management, venue, etc. How could Chen Yang have the spare time to do this? Not to mention, his income is increasing day by day, and it is increasing exponentially. Finished breakfast. He brought his 3 daughters to the back garden of the villa. Qingyu, I think you have a divine dragon bloodline, can you transform into a divine dragon? Chen Yang was quite interested in this, so he said to her, how about you turn into a dragon and take us for a ride? Ao Qingyu looked cold. She glanced at Chen Yang, but didn't refuse. She just said, with my current cultivation level, I can only transform into a dragon for 5 minutes, and I can only transform once an hour. Well, it's okay. Chen Yang nodded. Next moment, as soon as she raised her hand, she hung back the long sword around her waist and jumped into the sky ahead. Chen Yang didn't give her a flying halo, but she was stepping in the air, and in an instant, she reached an altitude of more than 10 meters. Then, the snow-white fabric spread out, accompanied by a burst of white light, blooming in the audience. Immediately after, a snow-white oriental dragon with a length of more than 20 meters appeared in front of Chen Yang and the other 2 women. Aura of Shenyan. Chen Yang activated the aura of divine concealment in advance, making her divine dragon body become translucent in her own eyes, entering a state of divine concealment. Accompanied by Ao Qingyu's transformation, a whirlwind rolled towards the surroundings, blowing up the skirts and long hair of Sylvie and Isabella. Wow, it's amazing, it's really a dragon. The 2 women stared at Ao Qingyu's divine dragon form with incomparable envy. This is the dragon girl. Too handsome, right, let's go to Tian Building. Chen Yang nodded with satisfaction. This dragon form is exactly in line with his expectations, so handsome. Snow-white dragon scales all over his body, snow-white dragon horns on his head, and cold, majestic and domineering dragon pupils. According to Chen Yang's current understanding, up to now, this is the first time that a dragon girl has appeared in the entire Blue Star. As for succubus and elves, they have appeared before, especially elves, there are still many. Certainly, the elves summoned by each summoner seem to be from different elves. It is even very possible that they are from a different world. For this aspect, Blue Star has some scholars who specialize in research, but Chen Yang doesn't know much about it. He took the 2 women behind him, jumped up, and sat on the back of the dragon incarnated by Ao Qingyu. Attribute Enhancement Power of the Wind. 2 god-level auras are activated. All attributes of him and the 3 girls are doubled. 10 times faster. Next moment, under the command of Chen Yang, the snow-white dragon was flying among the clouds, galloping, and the distance of more than 10 kilometers was almost instantaneous. Less than half a minute. There is a 100-story high-rise building in front, that is the headquarters building of Tian Building. Ao Qingyu turned into a snow-white dragon, carrying Chen Yang, the elf and the succubus. Together they came to the top of Tian Building. This is the president's office. At this time, Su Sheng's was on the phone in the office, arranging something. And around this top floor, there are panoramic glass windows. Chen Yang looked for it, and quickly found it on the glass window, a map of the distribution of the dungeon's secret realms around Zongan City. Yes, it was posted to me as expected. This thing is posted in the sky, and it is impossible for anyone to come up to check it deliberately. Even if someone came to see it, Su Sheng's would be aware of it. But Chen Yang is different. Under the aura of Shenyan, even this Su Sheng's could not detect any of his breath. Even the snow-white dragon with a length of more than 20 meters flew over and stopped outside the glass window, and the other party did not notice it at all. There are still quite a few copies today. Chen Yang took out his mobile phone, took a picture of the distribution map, and saved it. These are the dungeons or secret entrances that were refreshed last night and have not been destroyed yet. Every morning, before dawn, the major forces in the city will send people out to collect the refresh information of the nearby dungeons' secret realms, so as to provide reference for the transfer teams within the forces. However, what surprised Chen Yang was, he saw that there were several large characters marked in red below the distribution map, which was actually conveying information to him. Level 97, the Royal Level Team Secret Realm, Burning Ground, with a limit of 20 people, the game will start at noon tomorrow, leave a place for me. Chen Yang saw this message. Suddenly a little surprised. Nice. This is the fastest way for Chen Yang to achieve financial freedom. After entering the dungeon, he only needs to turn on the halo, suppress the monsters for the strong ones, touch the corpses behind him, pick up cheap ones, and then he can harvest unimaginable equipment and skill books. Just didn't expect. The Tian Building, where Su Sheng's is located, is even more anxious than him. But yes, many dungeons and secret realms have a certain time limit for brushing out. Once the time limit is up, the secret realm will disappear, and the monsters entrenched in it will flood into reality. And when the monsters come to reality, if you kill the monsters again, not only will the spoils not explode, but you will not even have experience. So, if you want to improve, you must clear the dungeon before the dungeon time limit arrives. Probably, the Bone Burial Ground, in Tian Building, the time limit has come. Generally, such high-quality dungeons, secret realms exist in the form of scrolls. It is very likely that these scrolls were purchased from others. If you don't get through before the time limit, it's like a complete waste. In this case, just before that auction, Chen Yang calculated the time. He can completely realize the freedom of wealth in advance of that auction. Until then, if you want to buy the original skill book, it is not difficult at all. He wrote down the time and place. Then leave. Let's go. There's a level 22 platinum dungeon here, let's go brush it first. Chen Yang picked the nearest platinum level dungeon entrance and let out Qingyu fly over. From the distribution map of the secret realm, he can see that there are several platinum level dungeons between levels 20 to 30, but unfortunately there are 2 dungeons with relatively high levels. If Chen Yang goes to the brush as soon as he comes up, the monsters in it are too much higher than his level, and he can't get any experience. So, only step by step. At the same time. What Chen Yang didn't know was that it was in the office on the top floor of Tian Building. Su Sheng's was always paying attention to the distribution map of the secret realm he posted on the glass window. On the one hand, he was very curious about how the little genius was going to view this picture. On the other hand, I was a little worried that the other party didn't see the reminder he wrote on the picture. I hope she will be there on time at noon tomorrow. Su Sheng sighed and thought to himself. He found that he was too passive in the process of communicating with the super genius. But the other party did not give him contact information. What can he do? And this also shows the strength of the opponent. This has just changed jobs, and he can make him, a top-level powerhouse in Zongan City, helpless. Will the level be higher in the future? Having a good relationship with the other party in advance is definitely a lot of benefits. It's time for my dragon transformation. Find a place to stop. Soon, on the way to the dungeon, Qingyu looked at the time and chatted privately with Chen Yang. No, just fly. Chen Yang didn't care and let her continue to fly. Qingyu was a little speechless. This human race boy isn't afraid of falling to his death. But soon, an unexpected situation happened to this dragon girl. I saw a burst of green halo power, spreading from Chen Yang towards the surroundings, and then Chen Yang, Sylvie and Isabella all floated up. You can fly. Qingyu was stunned when she saw this, and after thinking about it, she also took the initiative to cancel the dragon form. She found that there was a wind power lingering around her, making her easily suspended in the air. This situation It made her originally cold face appear astonished. Is there a problem with flying? Chen Yang gave her a strange look. I can fly and you still let me turn into a dragon. Ao Qingyu looked puzzled. Seems like you've been tricked. She thought Chen Yang and the others couldn't fly, so she asked her to take them for a ride, but the result? Actually, I just wanted to try what it's like to ride a dragon. Chen Yang explained. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Ao Qingyu is powerless to complain. She never expected it. This human race boy who summoned her is so skinny. But what she didn't know was, Chen Yang didn't say a word, and said that she was afraid that she would go crazy. The feeling of riding a dragon is normal, it seems that I still have to ride a dragon girl, cough. Soon, Chen Yang took the three daughters and flew all the way to a place more than 40 kilometers away from Zongan City, and landed on the ground. In front, there is a black vortex hanging in the air. Dungeon level. Level 22. Copy quality. Platinum level. Number of copies. 0 quarters. Copy status. Idle. Chen Yang looked around. In this secret realm, no other class transferees have come over yet. He didn't care either. Enter the dungeon with the girls, and then lock the dungeon. A blood-red color came oncoming. This secret realm is the Blood Castle. Chen Yang took 3 girls and appeared at the gate of the ancient castle of the Blood Clan. In front, the half-open gate of the ancient castle was like the bloody mouth of a black monster. You are a priest, you are a mage. All go ahead. On Ao Qingyu's pretty face, there was an unparalleled solemnity. She is holding an initial long sword. With the initial skill of sword as a shield, she can infinitely block attacks from enemies and reduce damage by 80%. I have to say that this is a tank magic. But she hasn't fought with Chen Yang yet. Naturally, they don't know, at least so far, they don't need defense at all. Certainly, Chen Yang wouldn't say anything about her either. Her cautious attitude is not bad. Come on, come in. Chen Yang waved his hand. All kinds of halos open. 10 times the attack, invincible. 10-fold defense, holy shield. 10 times the experience, super fast growth. Crit aura, deadly eye. Boom. The dragon girl, Ao Qingyu, saw that a layer of golden translucent shield appeared around her, which seemed to make people feel very safe. However, she didn't know that this was the halo from Chen Yang. At this time, her mind was all on the Blood Clan castle, but she didn't look carefully at her status bar. For the first time, she thought it was a support skill from Sylvie, a priest. Then, she cautiously walked into the Blood Clan castle step by step. Be careful, there are 2 monsters. 2 Blood Clan mobs approached. Their bodies were blood red, wearing long robes, each with a pair of bat wings, sharp teeth and sharp mouths. As soon as he saw Ao Qingyu, he rushed towards her. This made her ready for defense in the first place. However, dark chain lightning. The succubus girl Isabella behind, raised her hand and fired a chain lightning. Minus 68,599 crit. Minus 68,951 crit. 2 bright red damage numbers exploded from the top of the mobs, killing the 2 mobs easily. Question mark question mark question mark. Ao Qingyu was stunned for a moment. She still maintained her defensive posture with a long sword. The result was unexpected. This seemingly ferocious, platinum-level mobs were actually killed. Is this science? And many more. Ao Qingyu almost doubted her eyes. Didn't the prompt when summoned said that platinum-level monsters have terrible combat power? This. A reminder when you were summoned. She has always believed in it. In this era when the whole people called Blue Star changed their jobs, killing monsters could upgrade and become stronger. However, monsters are divided into different grades. The weakest black iron rank, then bronze rank, silver rank, gold rank, and then platinum rank. Ordinary platinum level monsters, even small monsters, are very terrifying in combat. It says so in the prompt. But now she found that she seemed to be deceived by that prompt. And she was even more shocked to find out. When these 2 little monsters were killed, under the aura of 10 times the experience, a huge amount of experience was absorbed by her. Her level has been directly raised from level 1 to level 9. If it is a class transfer person with a level 1, then because the monster level is too high, the class transfer person will not get experience. But she is a summon belonging to Chen Yang. Therefore, the experience she gained was copied from Chen Yang. As much experience as Chen Yang gets, she will get the same amount of base experience and get a level catch-up bonus. The bigger the level gap between Chen Yang and her, the higher the experience bonus she gets. So for the summoner, the subordinates who have just been summoned are still relatively fast to upgrade. From level 1 to level 9, it actually made me improve so much. Ao Qingyu opened her attribute panel and felt a little numb. Originally, after a night of cultivation, even if Blue Star's spiritual energy was sufficient, her full attributes had risen from early 200 to around 240. But now, when her level was upgraded from level 1 to level 9, all her attributes were directly increased by 80 points. From 240 to about 320 points. Is it so easy to become stronger in this world? Ao Qingyu was a little suspicious of herself. You know, this is just 2 mobs. Until then, she finally paid attention to her status bar and found several statuses on her body. 10 times the attack, 10 times the defense, 10 times the experience. This is. Ao Qingyu was completely stunned. What is this all about? Is this human race summoner hanging up? Ao Qingyu never expected it. The young human summoner who summoned himself is actually an immortal. The effect of each halo is too outrageous, right? After level 20, I can already activate 5 auras at the same time. Attack, defense, experience are necessary. Besides, the crit halo supplements the damage, and can you also activate a damage increase? Chen Yang looked at his halo list. In combat aura. There are many auras, all of which can increase the speed of his monster spawning. The damage deepening aura, called Tear Wound, when activated, doubles the damage received by enemy units within the range. But, Chen Yang glanced at Ao Qingyu. With the dragon girl with this physical attack, he seems to be able to turn on the 10 times speed aura to brush the book. Before, because Sylvie and Isabella are both from the legal system, 10 times the speed will not improve their output. Now their skills are instant cast, and they can't get the bonus of casting speed. As for attack speed, they don't use physical attacks, which are naturally useless. But it's different now. Dragon girl holding a sword as a swordsman profession, and the damage of each basic attack is very high. Wouldn't it be invincible if he increased his attack speed 10 times? Try it. Then, on the basis of the 4 monster spawning auras, Chen Yang opened an additional 10 times the speed halo. Quote. Ao Qingyu felt that her body became lighter, and she didn't even have to look at the status bar. I probably know what happened, this 10 times speed is coming again. She felt it when she turned into a dragon before, and thought that Chen Yang's talent was acceleration, but I didn't expect, this is just one of his halo effects. Next up, Chen Yang didn't let them move on. Instead, switch the aura. Start touching the corpse. To Chen Yang's surprise, when he turned on the Holy Touch halo, he saw that on the corpses of the 2 blood race monsters, there was a golden tentacle that came out. Finally out, Chen Yang's eyes lit up. Since his level 15, this aura has been turned on. It's a pity that none of the sacred tentacles appeared yesterday after brushing for an afternoon. Did not expect. Just came to level 22 dungeon, and it came out immediately. Holy Touch special monster, drop 1-inch transformation stone, god grade after killing it. HP, 100. Attack power, 0. Holy wall, forced to reduce the damage to 1 point each time you are attacked. Chen Yang glanced at the introduction of this thing. Know how to deal with it. No need for high damage, just the number of damages. Then, Ao Qingyu, the dragon girl with 10 times the attack speed, held her sword and moved forward quickly. Sword out, the white sword light flickered. In just 2 seconds, more than 100 swords were swung. Quote ? So fast, even Ao Qingyu was shocked. When she practiced swords before, how could she have such a speed? Simply cool. And when the divine touch was instantly killed, a transformation stone, god level, exuding divine golden light fell out. Sylvie, bring something back. Chen Yang still asked the elf girl to pick up things. At the beginning, the girl was still enjoying it. But then, Chen Yang kills monsters and explodes too many things. So tired. It's a pity that she had to listen to Chen Yang's orders. Soon, she came back angrily with her things. Platinum level equipment. The drop rate is really not that high, 2 mobs, not a single piece of equipment, not to mention the skill book. But it's not bad to be able to make a divine touch. Chen Yang touched the little head of the elf princess, and then took the god-level transformation stone to check the attributes. Transformation stone, god grade, use it on any equipment to increase the value of one of the attributes by 200%. Or add a new property. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Chen Yang glanced at it and called out a pervert. To know. In this era of national career change, the attributes of all equipment dropped by monsters cannot be changed. Explosion is how it is how it is. But this god-level transformation stone can actually increase the attribute value of equipment. Is it even possible to add a new property? No matter which one it is, once it spreads out, it will definitely make countless people dream of it. This thing, a priceless treasure. If 100 transformation stones are used to transform a top-level powerhouse's full set of equipment, then his combat power can be increased several times. The key is, this thing doesn't seem to stipulate that the same piece of equipment can only be used once. So, it is possible to increase all the attributes of a piece of equipment by 200% and keep adding new attributes. As for how many times it can be used, how many attributes can be added to a piece of equipment at most, Chen Yang will only know after trying it. There is only one transformation stone now. It's not worth it to use it on these low-level equipment. Save up first. Chen Yang collected the god-level transformation stone. Not to mention, this thing alone can make him the richest person in Blue Star. But at this stage, it is absolutely impossible for him to expose this thing. In the once modern world, this thing is like a nuclear weapon, a real killer. It seems, the corpses of monsters below level 20 can't get divine touch. No wonder I didn't get it yesterday. But from now on, the more this stuff comes, the better. At the same time, in the building of Tian Building, in a core conference room, a group of men and women, a total of more than a dozen powerful class transferers around level 95, gathered together, and all of them looked a little weird. The Emperor-level burial ground, ready to fight. We are 19, plus a mysterious person. Who would that mysterious person be, who can take us through this secret realm? Even the insiders of Tian Building. Neither Su Sheng's nor Sun Xingfa told their guild's thugs about Chen Yang's help with typing. After all, it's not necessary. If you tell them, they will ask questions instead. Maybe some people think it can't be done. Quit it. I'm afraid that even people will not be organized. After all, Su Sheng's was bold. It doesn't mean other people are brave. Anyway, Chen Yang is also just a rookie job changer. Certainly, Su Sheng's doesn't know Chen Yang's identity at the moment. He thought that the super genius who had been dungeon alone was a woman. In this conference room, those powerhouses around level 95 are all wearing a full set of king-level equipment, and even some emperor-level equipment. Even so, this team, if they want to clear the team's secret realm of the emperor level, can't do it. Even got stuck in front of the first boss. Because, the boss is offensive, they can't resist. When they went in last time, there was a level 96 tank that almost died inside, which made them have a shadow on this dungeon. This time, they were all a little puzzled. Who is the boss that the president called to help? At the same time a little worried. That person. Does it work? At this time, on the other side of Tian Building, when various preparations were made for the copy of Burial Ground, Chen Yang is happily brushing the book. In platinum level dungeons, the basic drop rate of equipment skill books is much lower than before. Even Chen Yang's Dead Man's Blasphemy requires less equipment. Of course, once you find out the diamond level equipment or skill book, its value is far more than platinum level. Any piece of diamond equipment is worth more than 1 million magic crystals. Certainly, for Chen Yang, these equipment and skill books are naturally a priority to meet their own needs. Tianq Sword, Diamond Grade, One-Handed Sword, limited to the swordsman profession. Physical attack plus 1560, strength plus 140, agility plus 160, attack speed plus 55%, 25% trigger attack special effect, Tianq, causing 200% additional physical damage. Requirement level 22. A swordsman weapon that can only be used at level 22, with good attributes. There is actually a special effect with a probability of triple attack. This special effect is also a rare entry. As a level 22 one-handed sword, this diamond level Tiank sword is sold for 20 to 30 million yuan, and everyone wants it. It is a pity that the dragon girl Ao Qingyu is temporarily unable to use this weapon. Otherwise, under Chen Yang's various auras, her casual sword would deal tens of thousands of damage, and even burst out more than 100,000 damage. With 10 times the attack speed, her second damage output definitely exceeds Isabella's. Certainly, the physics department is more equipment intensive, while the law department is more skill intensive. Chen Yang hasn't found any very useful dark spell skill books. He has been producing some ice and fire spells. It seems that he is still unlucky. Certainly, in terms of group output, Isabella must be a bit more than Ao Qingyu. Both have different capabilities, and until now, only then did Ao Qingyu really understand what Chen Yang said to her yesterday. After a day of brushing today, she can become several times stronger. This is no joke at all. In addition to the basic attributes that upgrades provide her, her whole body equipment is completely new, so more than double her combat power. In particular, after Chen Yang finished 2 platinum level dungeons, Ao Qingyu's level also caught up. Put on the diamond level equipment that just came out. Then, her full attributes are similar to those of Chen Yang, Sylvie, and Isabella, all of which have reached around 600. Strength, physique, agility, spirit, all-round improvement. It is no exaggeration to say. Now any of the 3 of them can single out all the students in the entire one high school. This is still not the case of Chen Yang's halo. If you count the halo, Chen Yang estimated the lower value. If it weren't for the lack of skills, they would even be able to compete with teachers like Lu Yuyao. Soon, down one day, Chen Yang took them to brush 4 platinum level dungeons, but the number of platinum level dungeons refreshed was relatively small. The rest are all brushed some gold level copies. The level of him and the 3 girls all reached level 26. 6 auras can now be activated at the same time. Enough for now, and he did not sell the equipment and skill books produced today, because soon he would not be short of magic crystals. Besides, he produced a total of 3 transformation stones God grade today. He summed up the following rules: this sacred touch, the dungeon below level 20 will not be available, and the dungeon below the platinum level will not be available. It seems that in the future, at least a platinum level copy will have to be played. But in the surrounding area of Zongan City, you can't get a few platinum level dungeons in one day. Even if you count the dungeons of the full level, there is not much platinum. Because the number of high-level copy refreshes is inherently small. This is the reason why the older generation of class transferees are not particularly high level. Even if they want to level up, there are not so many copies for them. Many dungeons and secret realms are monopolized by various guilds, and they are all taken over. Now, Chen Yang hasn't reached that stage yet, but he also needs more dungeon secret distribution information. Just one from Zongan City is a bit not enough for him to fight. Finally, by the second day, the appointed time has come. Chen Yang let the 2 girls rest at home. I brought a succubus girl, Isabella, and flew to a hunting ground in the suburbs of Zongan City, Apocalypse Hunting Ground. This is a small natural canyon dedicated to Tian Building, specially used to open the mystery scroll. In order to prevent the inability to defeat the secret realm, the monsters in the secret realm poured out and threatened the people. The guild's copy secret scroll is basically opened in a specific terrain, and after opening, there will be many guild elites guarding the surrounding to prevent accidents. At this time, Su Sheng's personally brought the 19 strong men who were about to enter the bone burial ground to come here. Next to the surrounding canyons, there are hundreds of middle-level elites from Tian Building, and there are even a few powerhouses over level 100. It can be seen that the 19 people are all fully armed, including tanks, mages, and 7 auxiliary occupations, men and women, each with a solemn expression. Yesterday to today, they were attacked by someone, but they never got the identity of the mysterious person who came to help. It annoyed them all a bit. For such an important matter, why didn't the president announce that person's information? President, it's about to enter the book. One of the S-rank heavy armored knights wearing heavy metal armor, his eyes covered by the helmet were a bit fierce. If you don't say who that person is, I'm sorry I can't go in and die. His name is Augustus. It is the main tank hired by Tianchi Luhua with a lot of money. As soon as I heard him say that, in the crowd, someone immediately echoed, "That's right. We have to tell what ability that person has, otherwise we won't dare to go in." At this time, Chen Yang and Isabella were already present. According to the agreed time, the other party should release the scroll immediately to open the level 20 team's secret realm, the Emperor level burial place. But, unexpectedly, such a thing happened. In this team, the chief tank hired by a lot of money, the armored knight Augustus, actually refused to enter. Not only, there are a few people in the team, and they have the same attitude as Augustus. I know that not releasing the identity information of the other party will make you a little suspicious. Su Sheng sighed and said, "However, since I asked you to gather again, I am sure of it. You don't trust others, don't you trust me? President, I believe in you. I believe in you too." There are several strong people who are very clear about Su Shengji's character. Su Sheng's rarely does anything he is not sure about. But, a group of people headed by Augustus snorted coldly. This group of people did not join Tian Building from the beginning and grew up with Su Sheng's. So now, it is normal to not believe Su Sheng's. At this time, Chen Yang took a look at the field, and more than a dozen people expressed their belief in Su Sheng's. With my Halo support, 10 people are enough to clear this dungeon. Chen Yang thought about it. So I asked Isabella to imitate her sister's voice. At the same time, naturally, the deep surrounding halo was turned on, so that everyone could not fathom her position. 10 people are enough. Open the secret realm. A crisp and cold female voice reached everyone's ears from all directions. It changed the expressions of many people in the field. This is the President Su Sheng's, the powerhouse he found. Most importantly, she actually said that 10 people are enough. Isn't this a joke? To know, the Emperor-level secret realm of the Bone Burial Ground is a team secret realm with a size of 20 people. Now you tell me, 10 people can pass. The key is that they don't know the strength of these 10 people. Before 20 people were beaten back, now 10 people want to pass the customs. What about their dreams? Who are you, hiding your head and showing your tail? The heavy-armed knight Augustus, who was hired from abroad, looked around with contempt. Fake it. Then I, Augustus, won't get in. I want to see how the 10 of you fight. After saying this, the guy walked directly to the side, and even took off the heavy armor helmet on his head, revealing a fierce bald head with a sneer on his face. There are also a few people who usually have a good relationship with Augustus. Strike together now. It is not only the question of whether this secret realm can be played, but also involves some power struggles within the guild Tianchilo. For this, Chen Yang naturally ignored it. But, when Su Sheng saw this situation, he thought about it carefully and decided to believe in the genius. There is nothing to lose anyway. However, as long as the other party can really bring 10 people from his guild to clear this secret realm, the arrogance of Augustus and the others will be hit hard. His personal prestige within the guild, Su Sheng's, will also be further enhanced. I trust her. Please also believe me. All the spoils of war produced by this dungeon will be distributed by yourself, and the guild will not take a cut. As Su Sheng said, he took out a secret scroll from the storage ring. This word, let many people in the field whisper. You must know that this secret realm scroll was bought with the funds of the guild. According to reason, the guild will definitely need to take a commission after the game is finished. But Su Sheng seems to have gone out of his way. Then, in the sneer of Augustus et al., Su Sheng's opened the secret scroll. Just in the open space of the Apocalypse Hunting Ground Canyon, a large black vortex, exuding the breath of death, appeared out of thin air. Come with me. The middle-aged uncle, the unshaven son Xingfa, waved his hand and entered first. Several people who believed in Su Sheng's went in directly with him. A few others hesitated, but due to various reasons, they soon followed into the secret realm. This scene, it made Augustus and others look a little ugly. Do you really dare to enter? You don't really believe that guy. Can you take them through this secret realm? It's so powerful. Why don't you go to a single copy? Wait for them to be run over by the boss. ... Discussion of these people. Naturally, Chen Yang didn't bother to pay attention to it, so he took Isabella and immediately entered the dungeon. So far, this copy, including him, has a total of 12 people. Dungeon level. level 97. Dungeon quality, Emperor level. Number of copies, 12/20. Dungeon status, ready for battle. King level secret realm, above the platinum level, first the diamond level, then the king level, and then the emperor level, which shows how difficult it is. Any one of the mobs has 3 or 4 million HP. Chen Yang did the math. If you play it alone, this secret realm can really be played, but you need to fill up the defense aura and slowly grind it. Moreover, his level is too low, and he won't lose equipment in this single brush, so there is no need for that. This time, his purpose is very clear, that is, to come here to make soy sauce and make a fortune. When Chen Yang took Isabella, he entered the dungeon in a hidden state. Immediately feel a chill, oncoming. Fine, now he is very much Isabella's diamond level equipment, and the attributes are high enough. It's cold, it's nothing. Look around, this is a wasteland cemetery. A crescent moon hangs high in the sky. It seems that in this secret territory, it will always be night. At the entrance, a total of 11 Tianchilo powerhouses, including Sun Xingfa, were waiting anxiously. When they saw that the number of people in the secret realm increased from 11 to 12 people, they all went around curiously. Pity, they didn't even see a shadow of a person. Sun Xingfa shook his head with a wry smile. Sure enough, the time has come, and the other party still refuses to show up. Friend, the mobs in front of this dungeon were cleared by us before. Just hit the first boss in a while. It's up to you. Sun Xingfa finished speaking. He pointed towards the plain wasteland in the distance. In the distance, Chen Yang really saw a skeleton general holding a machete, standing in the wasteland, looking around cautiously. That is the old one of this secret realm. Blood volume, 150 million. And all kinds of attack skills emerge in an endless stream, and the damage is extremely high. Before, the elite team of Tianchilo came to conquer this secret realm, and they were defeated and retreated in front of this boss. The main tank, Augustus, even ate a precious potion to save his life and escape alive. Therefore, that guy has a psychological shadow on this secret realm. But, for Chen Yang, none of this exists. Frost erosion 90% deceleration, fully effective for boss. Weakness 90% attack reduction, fully effective for boss. Tear wounds enemies take double damage. These 3 god level auras were activated immediately. The first 2 halos can directly weaken the boss's combat power to the extreme. 90% slowdown, 90% attack reduction, isn't this a casual hit? The third damage deepens the halo, which is to let the people in Tianchi building output high points. Otherwise, even if there is no problem in terms of safety, I don't know how long it will take to finish this dungeon. In addition to these 3 halos, Chen Yang also opened a divine hidden halo and a holy hourglass halo to ensure his own safety. Lest the boss have any skills thrown over here. He is currently low level, even if the opponent's attack power is reduced by 90%, he can't completely resist it. Care must be taken. Let's go. Isabella imitated her sister's royal voice, and it circled around in the copy. Let Sun Xingfa nodded. Wave your hand and lead the crowd forward. When they came to the boss, they were very nervous at first, but they checked the boss's status. What? This boss was actually slowed down by 90%. Are you kidding me? What kind of deceleration halo does it actually take effect on boss? There is still attack power. The boss's attack power has been weakened by 90%. This is too fierce, right? Then isn't this boss a flannel ball? Let alone a dozen or so of us, I can kill alone. A time, everyone was amazed. I never imagined that this skeleton general boss, whose combat power was extremely terrifying, would be weakened into Han. Go on, insult it. Sun Xingfa was also a little excited. He had guessed with Su Sheng's before that this little genius's deceleration and silence halo would probably take effect on the boss, otherwise, how could the other party do a single dungeon? Now, this is confirmed. A group of 11 people rushed forward excitedly. Various skills are called to the skeleton general. Have to say, this skeleton general is worthy of being a level 97 emperor level boss. Even if his speed is weakened by 90%, his speed is still very fast. If it is a newcomer who has just changed jobs, it is impossible to see his sword. But, Sun Xingfa and the others are all veterans of more than 90 levels. Their strength is strong enough, and the opponent is slowed down. Under the situation, all kinds of skills can be avoided. What's more, General Skeleton's attack has been reduced by 90%, so even if he accidentally takes a knife, he will not be injured at all. Even the skills of this skeleton general cannot break the defense of the tank profession. For a while, make these people feel very dreamy. This is so cool, isn't it? Everyone has a kind of admiration for the strong man who came over to help. At the same time, he was very convinced of Su Sheng's. Where did the guild leader find such a great god? At this time, Chen Yang is watching the battle of this group of people. Their skills and attacks fall on the boss, and the damage caused is basically tens of thousands, and the highest is more than 200,000. This kind of cooldown is relatively long. Great skill. Master, their second injuries are all around 100,000 minus 120,000. Is it about the same as we are now? Isabella looked curiously. These 90-level powerhouses, the output does not seem to be high. This is still taking Chen Yang's tear wound, aura, and the damage is doubled. Of course, Chen Yang was helpless. You guys have eaten my 10 times the attack, and the crit aura. It's good that these people can deal this second injury just by relying on their own strength. At this speed, it takes more than 3 minutes to kill this boss. Chen Yang is not in a hurry, observing the various skills of everyone in the field. 3 minutes later, that general skeleton was like a toy, everyone's blood was emptied and turned into a pile of white bones. It's shipped. Someone got close, went forward and touched the corpse, and found that a piece of Emperor-level equipment had exploded, which was a surprise. A copy of the Emperor class. Even bosses don't necessarily drop loot. The higher the quality of the props, the lower the drop rate. But, next, it is the moment that belongs to Chen Yang. Just waiting for this group of people to leave here, he will turn on the halo of touching the corpse, which is equivalent to letting the skeleton general judge 10 more drops. What I found here is not just the Emperor-level equipment, but Emperor-level equipment. Equipment of this level. Good attributes can sell tens of billions. Right now, Su Sheng's has always been uneasy, worried about the situation in the secret territory. He himself is a class transfer person of more than 100 levels, so he can't enter this dungeon and can only wait outside. And what he didn't expect was, the good news came so soon. Old One is over, and it was very easy, it was a flat push. A king-level hunter bracer was released. This news, it spread all over the entire guild of Tian Building at once. The armored knight Augustus, who was originally waiting to watch the show, got up when he heard the news, and a look of disbelief appeared on his bald face. Pass, how can that be? It's only been in for a few minutes. Even if the boss stands and lets them fight, they can't be killed so quickly. This bald foreign man's face became extremely ugly. He knows, in this kind of thing, people in the guild will not deceive people, because it is too easy to be exposed. Since this is true, that would be terrifying. Who is the person that Su Sheng's invited? Being able to enter this dungeon means that the opponent has not exceeded level 100. In this case, he can even bring the group of people to push the boss of the secret realm of the Emperor-level team. It is very likely that the other party is a powerful existence of SS-level talent. To know, in the entire Zongan city, it is now impossible to invite a strong person of this level. Where did Su Sheng's call from? Right now, Augustus and the others thought that they were the ones who invited them, and they had extremely high combat power, so they brought people to crush the boss. Never thought. Chen Yang just provided the help, and only opened the 3 simplest halos. Soon, Sun Xingfa and others sent the link of the attributes of the king-level hunter bracers revealed by the boss to the guild channel. Everyone took a look and all took a deep breath. This property is good. If you take it out and sell it, it will be worth at least 300 million. It only cost 320 million to buy this secret realm scroll, and this piece of equipment almost paid for itself. There are 6 bosses behind this, isn't it bloody earning? Su Sheng's nodded with satisfaction. Thumbs up for your wise decision. That is to say, he has a good vision to discover such a terrifying genius. But, after this, the existence of this genius is likely to spread and attract the attention of the entire Zongan city and even more people. Pity, everyone doesn't know. They may make a lot of money, but Chen Yang, the 6th child, earns more than them. The royal secret territory. Buried place under the moonlight. After a group of people cleaned up, they have entered a gloomy forest, and they are on the way to the next boss, cleaning up the mobs along the way. And Chen Yang. He took Isabella unhurriedly to the place where General Skeleton fell. Blessed from heaven. Dead blasphemy. Extra cash. With no one around, he temporarily turned off the slowing, attack reduction and damage deepening auras. Switched 3 corpse touches and auxiliary halos. As 3 translucent halos swept across the fallen skeleton general, 6 or 7 red lights appeared. Isabella picked up these things immediately and took them into her arms. Just the magic crystal. I found 5.26 million. There are also 4 pieces of Emperor-level equipment, an Emperor-level skill book, a source skill book, and a dungeon scroll. This is a good harvest. Chen Yang checked them one by one. Emperor-level equipment and skill books, he can't use them now. After all, the usage requirement is level 97. But as his asset, it allows him to achieve financial freedom, and he doesn't need to keep such things himself. When he reaches level 97, these equipments are already hot chickens. With his current combat strength growth rate, he really reached level 97. The equipment on him and the girls started at the epic level at least. This kind of Emperor and Emperor level has long been outdated. However, this source skill book is pretty good. Chen Yang glanced. Black Hole Vortex Origin, the Dark Mage's Origin skill book. Unleash a black hole vortex that continuously sucks and pulls all surrounding enemies, dealing massive dark spell damage every second. The black hole vortex lasts for 10 seconds with a 300-second cooldown. Level upgrade. Increase suction range, increase damage, increase duration, and reduce cooling time. After reaching level 20, this skill ignores magic immunity. It is indeed the original skill book produced by the Royal Level Team Secret Realm. This skill book itself has no level limit for learning. After learning, you can use it continuously to increase its proficiency to upgrade it. In theory, its level can be improved infinitely, but after the level is high, it requires a lot of proficiency. Blue star now. The one who raised the source skill level to the highest level should be the Sword Saint of Sha Kingdom, who is said to have SSS level talent. His original skill, Slash with one hit, has risen to level 54. Certainly, that is the powerhouse of the township level. The average person can upgrade the source skill to level 20 and activate the extra special effects of the skill, which is already very remarkable. And at this point, Chen Yang has a huge advantage. He has more than one targeted god-level aura on him. What is the tenfold proficiency of the original skill, the 90% cooldown reduction of the infinite firepower halo, etc.? Many auras can directly or indirectly improve the upgrade speed of the source skills. Learn it. Chen Yang casually threw the source skill book, Black Hole Vortex, to Isabella. This girl learns, it is very suitable. And the value of this skill book is that at least 4 or 5 billion magic crystals can be photographed outside. If the competition is big, it is not impossible to photograph tens of billions. In other words, counting the 4 pieces of Emperor-level equipment and an Emperor-level skill book, Chen Yang harvested nearly 20 billion magic crystals from this boss alone. This is because the properties of these pieces of equipment are not very good. Moreover, not counting the Emperor-level copy scroll. Chapter 51. Dungeon Scroll, Rift Scroll. Such props, of course, are also dropped from dungeons and secret realms. In the Emperor-level dungeons and secret realms, the Emperor-level dungeons or secret realm scrolls will be dropped. Using the scroll, you can open a secret realm. Chen Yang glanced at the copy scroll in his hand. Dungeon Scroll. Abyss Cavern, 4 people. Grade. Emperor grade. Level. 97. Number of boss. 3. Dungeon attributes. Monster attack power plus 39%, monster blood volume plus 56%. Magic crystal output plus 154%. Remaining time limit. 29 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes and 46 seconds. This is a 4-person squad copy. Compared with the dungeons, secret realms refreshed in the wild, the dungeons or secret realms opened by scrolls have their own random attributes. On the one hand, the monsters in it are more powerful. On the other hand, job changers can also get more out of it. For example, Chen Yang's scroll. The positive attribute is to increase the output of magic crystals by 154%, but the attack power and blood volume of the monsters are much higher than ordinary monsters. Its difficulty can be imagined. This copy scroll is counted from the time it was dropped. After 30 days, the countdown will end, and the monsters entrenched in it will emerge into reality. This process is mandatory. As soon as the reels fall, the clock starts to count. Time limit is up. No matter where this scroll is, there will be monsters emerging. Current. At least in the Sha Kingdom, the control of dungeons, secret realms is still relatively strict. However, in the human settlements of some countries, monster waves will erupt from time to time, and civilians are easily killed and injured. Some top monster bosses can destroy the world with a single skill. This copy scroll is still valuable. But the trouble is, it must be dealt with as soon as possible, otherwise it will bring hidden dangers. Once the monsters poured out from him. At that time, it is very likely that there will be a powerful person from the township level to investigate. At least for now, Chen Yang didn't want to attract that level of attention. However, the Emperor level copy, I am afraid that no one in the entire Zongan city can eat. It can only be sold elsewhere. Chen Yang thought about it. Well, I just went to other places to sell the Emperor level equipment and skill books together. More than 600 kilometers east of Zongan City, there is a city called Tiana City along the coast of the Sha Kingdom. Emperor level things, sold in Tiana City, will not attract too many people's attention. At this time, Chen Yang glanced at the current progress of the secret realm. There are a total of 7 bosses in the secret realm of the Boneyard. This is the first one, and it brought me nearly 20 billion in revenue. The whole copy is down. Isn't it more than 100 billion? By comparison, the original owner of this secret realm, Apocalypse Building, can earn 1 billion from this dungeon, which is amazing. They can only explode Emperor level props. Compared with the Emperor level things, the value is almost 1 in the sky and 1 in the ground. If Su Sheng's knew that someone was the 6th in his dungeon, his heart would bleed. But then again, if it wasn't for Chen Yang's help, they wouldn't be able to beat the first boss of this dungeon. Chen Yang helped them get their money back, which is already very good. As for Chen Yang's earnings, that's what he got by himself. What's the relationship with Tian Building? Frost erosion. Weak. After touching the corpse, Chen Yang turned on the 2 god-level weakening halos again. His god-level aura has an effective range of 10 kilometers. As long as it is turned on, the monsters in the entire dungeon will be affected, so no matter where he is, he can suppress the monsters at any time. Soon, Sun Xingfa and others led the team to clean up a bunch of mobs and headed to the second boss. For them, the probability of these little monsters bursting with equipment is very small. But Chen Yang passed by. Blasphemy of the dead. Heaven's blessing. Lucky corpse opened, and 2 pieces of Emperor-level equipment were found directly from the mobs. Another billions of magic crystals are in hand. At this time, Su Sheng's, Augustus and others in the canyon of the Apocalypse hunting ground had no idea that Chen Yang had already made money. After learning that the dungeon team pushed the first boss with ease, Augustus wanted to go into the dungeon to have a look. Turn out, this copy was actually locked from within the copy. Other job transferees can no longer enter. And the one who locked this copy was naturally the head of the operation, Sun Xingfa. The proceeds from this secret realm don't need to be handed over to the guild, and the team distributes it themselves. Why did he let Augustus come in and share the money? Let them in early, not in. I want to enter now, it's too late. So Augustus complained on the guild channel. Is this still a guild person? They don't take us as their own. It's strange, didn't you think of us as your own first? Sun Xingfa sneered and replied on the guild channel. August. As the guild leader, Su Sheng's couldn't slander him like this, but he also said, this time, forget about it. If you want to continue to stay in our guild, just obey the command, do you understand? Original. Augustus as the main tank hired with a lot of money. Relying on his status, he showed his strength in all kinds of ways, and he didn't even pay much attention to the chairman Su Sheng's. But, taking this opportunity, Su Sheng's beat this guy hard. Understood. Augustus was a little annoyed. This time, the loss is huge. And now Tianchilo is hugging such a thigh and letting him quit the guild, how could he be willing? Just stay in this guild. There is always a chance to take advantage of it in the future. Pity. This guy doesn't know. The condition that Chen Yang and Su Sheng's negotiated was that they would only help to play the dungeon once a month. After all, magic crystals, enough is enough, and it is enough to be able to afford what you need. The most important thing for him at the moment is to upgrade. Helping the Great Guild to play high-level secret realms, although making money, but it can't improve the level, Chen Yang can't be keen on it. And the speed of these guys clearing monsters is really too slow. Even with the assistance of Chen Yang, it took more than 3 hours to finally clear the secret realm of the Bone Burial Ground. Certainly, when the final clearance, Chen Yang finished touching the corpse of the 7th boss. In his princess bracelet, all kinds of emperor-level equipment and skill books are already stored. Chen Yang did some statistics. This time, more than 200 mobs and 7 bosses brought him more than 100 billion magic crystals. There are 35 pieces of emperor-level equipment. Depending on the attributes, the price is also very different. The cheapest can only be sold for 5 or 6 billion, but the 2 or 3 pieces with the best attributes can each sell for a sky-high price of more than 10 billion. To know, emperor-level equipment is already the best equipment that ordinary people can obtain. Above the emperor level, it's epic, legendary and mythical. This level of dungeons and secret realms requires at least the entire team of SS-level talent transferees to clear the level. And there are not many such teams in the world. Moreover, to reach epic-level secret realms and dungeons, on a global scale, only 2 or 3 are brushed every year. On the contrary, the number of epic-level dungeon scrolls that broke out in the emperor-level dungeon will be more, but it does not add up to more than 10. This means, unless it is a career transfer with SS or even SSS level talent, emperor level equipment is already the top equipment they can get. Because epic equipment rarely appears on the market. There are circles between the strong and the strong. The epic level and above equipment produced by the dungeon are all digested within the circle, and seldom flow into the market. Maybe they were bought by the enemy, which is purely an act of financing the enemy. As for the emperor level skill book, the price is even more expensive. I have only 4 emperor-level skill books in my trip to the secret realm. Each book is worth more than 10 billion. Besides that, there are 2 dungeon scrolls and a secret realm scroll, both of which are emperor-level, and they can be sold for about 10 billion. Emperor-level scrolls are much more expensive than emperor-level scrolls. The scroll of the Bone Burial Ground was bought for just over 300 million. However, the emperor-level secret realm scrolls with the same specifications and attributes must be at least 20 times larger. Certainly, it is Chen Yang's divine aura that allows him to gain so much. In general, these 3 more than 100 million copy scrolls, the total value of the final output can exceed 1 billion, which is considered a good luck. For example, this Apocalypse building. Their total income in this copy is just over 1 billion, which is quite satisfactory. The old one lost a piece of equipment, the 4th one lost a piece of equipment, and the final boss must drop a piece of equipment, which would add up to 1 billion. Even so, for Sun Xingfa and others who participated in this secret realm, it is already a bloody profit. After this secret realm is over, Chen Yang took Isabella and left quietly, without going to the miscellaneous things in Guantian's building. He looked at the time. There are still 3 hours before the auction in Hongwu Shopping Mall. You can go to Tiana City, sell things, and exchange them for magic crystals. Chen Yang estimated the time and found that it was too late. This auction, he is bound to participate. Because the original skill book is too precious. Even if his god-level aura was turned on, in the secret realm of the Bone Burial Ground, only one original skill book of Black Hole Vortex was lost. This thing has a very low drop rate. Otherwise, it is impossible to sell at such a high price. For this auction, Chen Yang must prepare enough magic crystals. Then, Chen Yang took Isabella and flew to Tianai City, more than 600 kilometers to the east. This is one of the 3 core cities of the Xia Kingdom, with a population of tens of millions, and the surrounding dungeon secret realm resources are more than 10 times more than that of Zongan City. Certainly, the dungeons and secret realms in these areas are basically contracted by major guilds. Far from being as free as Zongan City. Sacred Aura, Wind Power, Attribute Enhancement. The 4 halos come together. The flight speed of Chen Yang and Isabella directly reached twice the speed of sound. The 600-kilometer journey took only about 15 minutes. Along the way, the ground is basically a virgin jungle, or forest wasteland. Since the dungeon of the secret realm came, the area of the entire Blue Star has expanded by an unknown number of times. Even far from human cities, there are already many monster settlements. They are some top-level monsters. After they came out of the dungeon, secret realm, they did not go to human beings to trouble them, nor did they destroy them. So with his own ethnic group, he found an area to settle down. Over time, the current Blue Star is already a world where humans and monsters coexist. However, for ordinary people, it is rare to encounter wild monsters. These wild monsters have a strong sense of territory and basically will not leave the area where the ethnic group lives, otherwise they will be easily killed by humans. This is Tiana City. Chen Yang looked down at the row upon row of high-rise buildings with emotion. The resilience of human civilization is still very strong. He checked on his way here. The largest equipment and skill book trading market in Tiana City belongs to the Luz Group, so he took Isabella and went straight to the Luz Group's shopping mall. Soon, he arrived at one of the Luz shopping malls. This mall is a specialty store for equipment above level 90. Then, cancel the aura of Shenyan, and open a god-level halo of god form. This halo can make everyone around look at him and his summons with a vague feeling, unable to identify his identity or view any information about him. This is the first time he has opened this halo. The halo that hides your identity, this is the one that works best. This halo only opens in Tiana City. In this way, he can separate his multiple identities, thereby preventing them from being linked together. But, after turning on this halo, he and Isabella, the figures of both of them have become sacred and immeasurable, which will attract the attention of many people. The two entered the gate of Luz shopping mall. Many people in the store noticed them. For a while, many people whispered, "You must know that in this mall, all of them are powerful class transferees above level 90. But, facing Chen Yang and Isabella's two forms of gods, they all have the urge to worship, and they are extremely curious, who are these two people? Two seniors, good afternoon. A beautiful waiter in the store greeted him immediately and saluted Chen Yang respectfully. Let's sell something. Emperor-level equipment and skill books, do you accept them? Chen Yang turned on the voice-changing halo and said this sentence in a neutral voice. Receive. The beautiful waiter immediately replied, but please wait a moment. I can't control the acquisition, so I have to ask our manager to come. No need. At this moment, a petite and cute figure jumped out from the side. It was a cute girl with a pair of ponytails, with a high face value and lively and lovely eyes. She came to Chen Yang and looked at him curiously and respectfully. Senior, I am from the GU group, what are you going to sell? I can take it all. The girl ran out. The expressions of many people around changed slightly. Gu's group, second Miss GU Xiaoyu. Why is this man here? Moreover, they came to rob Lu's group's business. Even Chen Yang was a little surprised. This girl is actually in someone else's store, robbing someone else's business. Aren't you afraid of being hit? Certainly. For Chen Yang, the situation turned out to be favorable. He said without wave. Then it depends on the two of you, who has the higher bid. For Chen Yang, it doesn't matter who sells things to, anyway, he has little interaction with the forces of Tiana City for the time being. Anyway, whoever gives more money will sell it to whomever. Then, the people around became enthusiastic all of a sudden. This time, there is a good show to watch. Gu's group and Lu's group are both big family businesses in Tiana City. These two are usually a little bit incompatible, and the competition is fierce. The result is now, the second lady of the GU family is actually robbing business on the Lu group's site. It's too bold. Soon, when such a big thing happened, Lu Group, the person in charge of this shopping mall, came downstairs immediately. An old manager with gray hair greeted Chen Yang respectfully. Then, I want to drive that little girl GU Xiaoyu away. Result, Chen Yang raised his hand and said, let her stay, and you will each offer a price, and the one with the higher price will get it. Under the influence of the aura of God form, the temperament of him and Isabella is extremely sacred. If you say anything casually, people around you will not dare not obey. People are skeptical. Who are these two people? In Tiana City, there has never been such a big guy. Just the temperament and demeanor makes everyone want to worship. Yes, the old manager of Lu's group could only helplessly nodded. At the same time, the corner of Ji Yu Xiaoyu's mouth turned up slightly, revealing a hint of slyness. Obviously, she also expected that she is now out to grab business. These two seniors with mysterious identities will never let her be driven away. Then, Chen Yang started with the worst equipment, took out one piece after another, and showed the attributes to Ji Yu Xiaoyu and the old white-haired manager. 700 million magic crystals. Ji Yu Xiaoyu glanced at the attributes and made an offer directly. Then, the white-haired old manager pondered for a moment and shook his head. At this price, if he adds it, it will be completely unprofitable, and there is no need to buy it. Then the second piece, 950 million. Ji Yu Xiaoyu made another bid. Quote. The white-haired old manager was a little uncomfortable. The price just happened to be stuck at his psychological price. As Chen Yang took out more and more equipment, the people around are also more and more surprised. Selling so many Emperor-level equipment at one time, how many Emperor-level dungeons did you play? It's too fierce. Also, I heard before that the two girls from the Ji Yu family are not easy. I didn't expect that the price would be so expensive. This Lu's group is going to suffer. In terms of the price of these equipment, Ji Yu Xiaoyu is very careful. The key is to respond quickly and directly quote the limit price, so that Lu's group can't increase the price. This girl is amazing. Even Chen Yang was a little surprised. Originally, he wanted to sit on the mountain and watch the tiger fight. Result, where is this sitting on the mountain watching tiger fights? It's a complete one-sided fight. I have to say that the second Miss Ji Yu family, Ji Yu Xiaoyu, grasped the price of these equipment attributes too accurately. I just bought it at her offer, and I can earn a little bit. If Lu's group increases the price, it is likely to lose money. For this case, Chen Yang is also quite satisfied. Although it does not exceed the premium, it is better than being slaughtered by a black-hearted merchant. Soon, Chen Yang has dozens of pieces of equipment, ranging from the lowest of 700 million to the highest of 12.4 billion. There are also 4 skill books, ranging from 10.5 billion to 14.4 billion. Plus 3 Emperor-level copies, secret scrolls. As for the second Miss Ji Yu family, a total of 155 billion magic crystals were bid. These things, if they take them back, they can make billions or so, but it's hard to say how long it takes to sell them. Quote. When Chen Yang things are displayed, the old manager of Lu's group was dumbfounded. Look at Ji Yu Xiaoyu, and look at Chen Yang. Shaking his head, he sighed, alas, people are old and useless. After seeing the attributes of the equipment, the evaluation speed was too slow, at least it was too slow compared to Ji Yu Xiaoyu, causing the rhythm to be completely controlled by Ji Yu Xiaoyu. Ji Yu Xiaoyu smiled happily, and took out a golden key from the storage ring. Senior, I wish us a happy cooperation, come with me to get the magic crystal. Hundreds of billions of magic crystals are simply impossible for ordinary people to store on their bodies. After all, that's enough wealth to pile up into a hill. Assets like Gu's group or the insurance curry deposited in Magic Crystal Bank. By the way, Senior, 155 billion magic crystals are a bit too many. Are you dumping it or taking it away? Ji Yu Xiaoyu blinked and asked. Take away. Chen Yang answered her briefly. On the way to follow her to the Magic Crystal Bank, Chen Yang thought of one thing, and asked, Your Ji Yu family, do you sell the original skill book now? Well, I just received a copy of the Assassin's original skill book 2 days ago. Senior, if you need it, give it to the senior. Ji Yu Xiaoyu pursed his lips and smiled. ? Chen Yang looked at the girl's beautiful face and felt a little emotional. This girl seems to be just at the age of changing careers. I didn't expect that she would be so good at doing business. With this relationship in, what is he going to sell in the future, so he can't go to her directly? For this, Chen Yang did not refuse. It's cheap to deliver to your door, don't want it for nothing, at most, if you have anything in the future, just sell it to her. Soon, the three came to a large magic crystal bank together. This magic crystal bank has a magic crystal vault with 7 underground floors, and the GU group has one of the first floors. Inside the magic crystal vault, all vault walls are made of extremely hard black gold. Unless a key is used, even SSS level powerhouses may not be able to open it, not to mention there is a defensive barrier outside the magic crystal bank. That's it, one bank is 10 billion, I'll open it for you. 15 banks, can you really take them all? Gu Xiaoyu looked at Chen Yang suspiciously. A library of 10 billion magic crystals has more than 20 cubic meters. More than 150 billion magic crystals occupy a total of more than 300 cubic meters of space. To know, even Gu Xiaoyu's storage ring is of top quality, and the storage space in it is less than 100 cubic meters. Hear her ask. Chen Yang silently took off the princess bracelet on his wrist. Soon, Gu Xiaoyu, like a little loli, opened her mouth into an "oh" shape with an expression of admiration on her face. This senior's storage space is too big. These more than 150 billion magic crystals are all packed in. As expected of a senior. Finally, Chen Yang left Tiana City with a load of 155 billion magic crystals and the assassin's original skill book given to him by Gu Xiaoyu. Blood Shadow Flying Knife Origin condenses a blood element flying knife, which causes a bleeding state after hitting the enemy, causing a lot of damage for 12 seconds. Cooldown for 20 seconds. Level upgrade. Increase the number of flying knives, the damage of flying knives, and the duration of bleeding. After reaching level 20, all throwing knives can control the direction after being thrown. This skill can be said to be quite a powerful output method. However, its base cooldown is a bit long. For many assassins, the main stack attributes are attack, speed, crit, and defense break. If you want to take into account the cooling reduction attribute, it is extremely difficult. Therefore, this skill book is actually difficult to sell at a high price outside. But in Chen Yang it doesn't matter. After all, he has the god-level aura of unlimited firepower. With a 90% cooldown reduction, this 20-second cooldown skill, in Chen Yang's case, is based on a 2-second cooldown. If you add some cooldown reduction attribute to the equipment, it is not difficult to achieve this skill 3 or 4 times per second. This skill can only shoot one throwing knife at level 1, which is very hip. But the higher the level, the more throwing knives are shot. At level 20, you can shoot 20 flying knives at one time, and you can also control the direction of the flying knives in the middle. Chen Yang thought of it at once. Is it possible to release the flying knives in advance, so that more and more flying knives surround the surroundings, and when encountering a monster, 10,000 flying knives will fire in salvo? In that case, what boss can stop it? The only pity is now Chen Yang, a girl who has not been able to summon an assassin class. Keep it for now. The source skill book is the truly powerful skill book. For Chen Yang, what emperor level skill books and emperor level skill books are all floating clouds, because these skill books all have level requirements for learning, and the effect is actually the same. It is completely incomparable with the developed original skill book. Certainly, origin skill books are too expensive. To prepare a set of full-featured original skill books for every girl, the difficulty can be imagined. Sometimes, this is not something that money can solve. In this regard, even Chen Yang can only take his time. And on the way to Tiana City, Isabella followed him obediently. Except for chatting for a while on the road, he basically didn't speak at other times, and it was very quiet. Fortunately, it wasn't Sylvie that I brought. Otherwise, it must have been chattering all the way. I am afraid that in Tiana City, I may not be able to create that kind of big image. And when Chen Yang left Tiana City, what he didn't know was that his appearance caused a wave of waves in Tiana City and became a hot topic among many top powerhouses. Two strong men whose faces and figures could not be clearly seen suddenly appeared and sold a batch of emperor-level equipment, many of which were superb. Nothing else matters. The key is, no one knew their identities, and even there were more than 100 level powerhouses in the field, and they were proficient in some observation and detection skills, but they could not see any clues visible. The strength of those two people far exceeded everyone present. This is where people are shocked. Shouldn't it be? Is there some superpower out of the country? But listening to the accent, it doesn't look like it's from abroad. Certainly, these two people did not have any trouble in Tiana City, so no one would come to investigate or anything. And these, for Chen Yang, have nothing to do with him at all. He's paying attention now. It was the auction at Hongwu Shopping Mall in Zongan City. That swordsman's original skill book, he must win it for the dragon girl today. Certainly, there is still time before the auction starts. Chen Yang took Isabella first and went back to the villa in Xian Villa to have a look. Unsurprisingly, the dragon girl Ao Qingyu was still cultivating in her room, but it was Sylvie who rushed over when she saw Chen Yang coming back. I'm so hungry. Chen Yang, big brother, you guys are finally back. In the past 2 days, she has become accustomed to shouting, Chen Yang, big brother, one by one. Although I don't agree with it. But at least she didn't feel awkward anymore. And Chen Yang, naturally, this order will not be cancelled. Lest this girl call him human, or human, again. Let's go out to eat something, and then go to the auction. Qingyu, do you still eat fish? Chen Yang asked upstairs. Thank you. A cold voice came. Chen Yang nodded and ignored her. He took the two girls to the city, and he took out his mobile phone and glanced at the message Hong Wuliang sent him. Today's auction has attracted a lot of geniuses from Tiana City. It seems that the low-level platinum level equipment and the original skill book are indeed very attractive. 7:30 in the evening. Chen Yang did not hide, and brought the elf princess Sylvie, and Isabella, who transformed into a human form, to the Hongwu Mall together. Result. Just came to the door of the mall. Then I saw a familiar figure. Bingshan School Flower Su Qimeng. But at this time, she seemed to be entangled, a little annoying, but she couldn't get out. The other party is old and young. The old man looked indifferent, as if he was indifferent to everything, and was only responsible for protecting the young man. And that young man, with a saber hanging from his waist, is obviously a famous swordsman. Judging from his age, he has just changed careers, and his expression is a little arrogant. It seems to be a young genius from Tianai City. It was this young man who entangled Su Qimeng, and Su Qimeng came here alone and couldn't get away. Until Chen Yang came over. When Su Qimeng saw Chen Yang, her eyes suddenly lit up. She really wanted to say hello to Chen Yang, but she was being pestered now, and she was afraid that saying hello to Chen Yang would bring trouble to Chen Yang, so she abruptly stopped the urge to say hello. Pity. The other party's youth from Tianai City immediately understood when he saw Su Qimeng's eyes. Although she didn't say hello to Chen Yang. But that boy, at a glance, Su Qimeng's attitude towards Chen Yang is completely different from his attitude towards him. How can this be tolerated? Immediately walked towards Chen Yang in 3 or 2 steps. Chen Yang never expected it. Can you cause trouble just by passing by? Is this the trouble of being too handsome? If I'm not handsome, this schoolgirl surnamed Su won't pay attention to me. If she doesn't pay attention to me, this kid won't come to trouble me. Chen Yang thought about it. Although he tried to avoid troubles as much as possible on weekdays, but now, troubles are coming, and he can't admit it. And this time, seeing the swordsman boy in the sea market that day, he walked towards Chen Yang aggressively. A lot of people watching around, all their faces changed slightly, and they whispered. That handsome guy seems to be Chen Yang, who just changed jobs a few days ago and became a summoner, right? Yes, the student of No. 1 high school. I heard that he summoned an elf, and he looks very good looking. Now, looking at him, he is really beautiful. What do I do now? It seems that the silly cup from the sea market that day wanted to trouble him. What can I do? That kid has a big guy from Tianai City as his bodyguard. Don't talk about us, even Su Qimeng's father can't help him. It's too outrageous. Can you do whatever you want with power and power? Who let people cast a good tire? Chen Yang is miserable now, alas. That guy is too careful. Didn't Su Qimeng just glance at Chen Yang? He is going to come up to do something. A group of people all mourned for Chen Yang. However, no one dared to help. Just like when Chen Yang was blocked by Guan Neiliang in the same place. In this era, one wrong step and you are likely to fall into the abyss. No one wants to be inexplicably lost. And at this time, there was only one Su Qimeng who stood up. Lin Zishao, what are you doing? I don't understand. The talented young man named Lin Zishao said lightly, I am a genius in Tiana City. You don't like it, but you have ideas about the ants in the small Zongan city. I want you to know how big the gap is between geniuses and ants. It's not that he has to bully Chen Yang. Rather, he wants to vent out. Usually he was in Tianai City, but since he changed jobs, he has always been suppressed by a talented girl, so much so that he couldn't even lift his head. This time I came to this small Zongan city. He naturally wanted to find a few opponents to practice his hands and regain some confidence. As everyone knows, the talented girl who has been suppressing him is the second miss of the Jiyu family, Jiyu Xiaoyu. And not so long ago, Jiyu Xiaoyu was still beside Chen Yang, shouting, Senior, respectfully one by one, wishing to worship Chen Yang as his teacher. As you can imagine, this Lin Zishao wanted to find someone to practice his skills and regain his self-confidence, but he found the wrong person completely. And when this Lin Zishao came to Chen Yang not far away, when he saw Sylvie and Isabella clearly, the guy's eyes almost popped out. These two girls, that face value turned out to be more beautiful than the other. I can't believe that there are such beautiful women in this Zongan city. These little ants, how can he be with them at the same time? Lin Zishao is mentally unbalanced. Forget Su Qimeng, now there are two more. Is it because this guy is handsome? In this world where power is king, can handsome be eaten? This made him even more determined to beat Chen Yang hard and let out a bad breath. And tonight, if these three girls can take one away, they will count as one. And why is he so arrogant? It was also because he heard the discussions of the people around him and knew about Chen Yang. That is, he had only changed jobs for a few days, and he was still a summoner. Before he came to Zongan City, he had heard that there was a thief genius here, and he could only play the silver and gold dungeon at the beginning. But it was the assassin that day. It must not be the summoner in front of him. And this time, seeing Lin Zishao looking at Sylvie and Isabella, Chen Yang sighed. Unexpectedly, I just passed by and there were people looking for trouble. He waved his hand. Sylvie, beat him to death for me. ? As soon as the words came out, everyone around was stunned. Even Su Qimeng, who was about to help Chen Yang, was confused. What the hell? Beat to death? Did you say this in front of the big guy's bodyguard like this? Especially the indifferent old man. Originally, he didn't intend to take care of this matter. Anyway, he was responsible for protecting Lin Zishao's safety, and he didn't bother to take care of anything else. But, someone actually said that Lin Zishao would be beaten to death in front of him. This time, even the old man's bodyguard couldn't bear it. Ignorance Jr., ranting. This indifferent old man snorted coldly. However, just when he wanted to do something and teach Chen Yang a lesson, Chen Yang opened up with a god-level aura. Astral stagnation. This halo is the halo corresponding to the holy hourglass. The effect is exactly the same. However, the holy hourglass is an invincible aura that protects oneself and allies after it is turned on. And the astral world is stagnant. It is a god-level suppression aura that takes effect on the enemy and can make the enemy unable to do anything. Of course, while being stagnant by the star world, the opponent will not suffer any damage. Therefore, this aura can be used at certain times, such as now. When Chen Yang opened this halo, no one expected that the extremely powerful old man was suddenly enveloped in a burst of golden light, and then his whole body fell into a state of stagnation, unable to move at all. Even the look on his face. They are still half indifference, half slightly angry, and half of their hands are frozen by the golden streamer, completely stagnant. ? Everyone in the audience, watching this scene, was dumbfounded on the spot. At this moment, countless shish sounded from the audience. Everyone looked at the old man in Tianai City who was stagnant by the golden light, and couldn't help but whisper. Originally, they thought that Chen Yang was rude and would be taught by the old man, but as a result, this old man was frozen by the mysterious golden light. Completely immobile. You must know that this old man came from Tianai City, and he was a powerful class transferee over level 100. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to become Lin Zishao's bodyguard. As a result, such a strong man was actually suppressed by a mysterious force. It's too incredible, right? Do you really think you have the backstage? I have it too. Chen Yang said lightly, make the surrounding people in an uproar. It's really his backstage shot. Let me just say, how could he, a rookie summoner, suppress such a strong man? Which thigh is this hugging? It's too fierce. Actually, I had a hunch last time, this Chen Yang is not easy, and now I look at it, it really is. Quan Naliang tried to trouble him before, but he was all bald and sprayed in public. Now the kid from Tiana City wants to try it. A word from Chen Yang. All of a sudden, he realized that there was a backer behind him. Let countless people suddenly realize. No one has the slightest doubt about this. After all, how could Chen Yang, a rookie summoner alone, be able to suppress the old man from Haishi that day? And watching this scene, the talented young man from the sea that day, Lin Zishao, was dumbfounded. He dares to be so arrogant in this Zongan city, isn't his biggest reliance on this old man, Yan Junction. Yan Junction is already a powerful class transferee with more than 120 levels, an S-class occupation, and a martial artist. With this person's protection, Lin Zishao could completely walk sideways in Zongan City. But he didn't expect, when he just wanted to find a passerby to vent, he actually let Yan Junction be suppressed by the mysterious golden light. At a glance, the current old man Yan Junction has golden light all over his body, which is incomparably sacred, but whether it is his expressions, movements, or even his skills, he can't release it at all. Completely frozen in place. Even in the back, Su Qimeng, who wanted to help, was confused. She thought it was bad. He also wanted to stop Chen Yang and prevent Lin Zishao from doing it. Result: is there someone behind Chen Yang? When did he find a backer? A time. Su Qimeng was a little fortunate and a little lost. She feels Chen Yang seems to be getting further and further away from her. And this time, now that the old man was suppressed, the next step was to beat Lin Zishao violently. Sylvie, it's your turn to take action. Chen Yang waved his hand. The elf girl nodded arrogantly. Except for this princess, no one is qualified to bully Chen Yang, big brother. This is very powerful, but Chen Yang is very suspicious. Has he really been bullied by this elf? Lin Zishao, who was 10 meters away, sank when he heard this. But he looked around. He couldn't find where the big guy who helped Chen Yang was, which made him a little uneasy. Bravely roared. The juniors will learn from each other, and the elders won't take action, right? I want to see how a little rookie summoner, a mere elf priest, can stop my sword. He is an S-level talent, combo. For each normal attack, there is a 50% chance to launch a combo, up to 3 times. This makes him lucky. Launching an attack is equivalent to launching 4 attacks, and the output is full when playing a copy. However, when he tried to attack Sylvie, slow, too slow. The elf princess has a look of disgust on her face. It's too shameful to fight with such a person, right? But no way. Who made this guy have bad intentions towards Chen Yang? She dodged several attacks from Lin Zishao with a single dodge, and even her skills were easily dodged. Then, knock on the shoulder of the opponent with the staff in hand. Boom. Immediately, like a mountain topping the top, the terrifying force directly knocked him to the ground. Question mark. This scene made countless people around, all dumbfounded. Didn't you say that this elf girl is a priest? The priest smashed people with a staff. I'm super, it's a bit outrageous. The priest uses physical attacks to beat the genius swordsman. What genius swordsman? I think he's a clown. Experts look at the doorway. You don't understand, this is obviously the attribute of the elf, crushing the opponent in all directions. Then, under the unbelievable gazes of the people around, Sylvie held the staff and slapped it again and again. After a while, Lin Zishao's nose was blue and his face was swollen. Stop hitting, don't hit the girl, I know it's wrong. Lin Zishao was beaten so hard that he couldn't get up. Almost cried. This special staff is beaten down, at least more than 1,000 strength points. You told me she was a priest. Chen Yang can't help it either. It is said to be beaten to death, but you can't really beat people to death, right? If Sylvie was asked to release a holy light, a light of exorcism or something, Lin Zishao would probably have sent it directly. So, picking up the staff to fight is to save his life. At this time, That Lin Zixao was about to cry but had no tears. He could imagine that now his nose was bruised and his face was blue and purple. It made him a little unbelievable. It's been over a month since he changed jobs, and he is still an S-level talent. Now he has risen to level 22. With a set of top-quality equipment, all attributes such as strength, physique, and agility have exceeded 300 points. He was physically beaten by an elf summoned by a rookie summoner who had only been transferred for a few days. Is this science? Of course this kid doesn't know. Now that Sylvie is level 27, most of her body is equipped with diamond-level equipment. This kind of equipment can't even be bought in the market. The rest are also the best platinum equipment. With Chen Yang's attribute doubling aura, her agility is close to 2,000 points. This is still the case when Chen Yang does not open the 10 times speed halo, otherwise, it is faster. How could this little swordsman of level 22 be able to stop him? Soon, Lin Zixao was crying and grabbing the ground on the ground, covered in injuries. Sylvie always felt that this person would die if she continued to fight. So he put away his staff and ran back. Chen Yang, big brother, is it all right? Okay, let him live. Chen Yang waved his hand. Even so, that guy couldn't get up, and he was surrounded by so many people. This made Lin Zixao almost out of breath, and he simply pretended to be dead on the spot. But right now, Su Qimeng ran over nervously, and asked with concern, Chen Yang, are you all right? Question mark. Lin Zixao, who was lying on the ground, was dumbfounded. Nima, it was me who was beaten. You came over to care about Chen Yang. Even Chen Yang was a little confused. This girl. What does it mean? I'm the one who beats people. And you haven't done it yourself yet. You ask me if I'm okay. Of course I'm okay. Seemingly aware of her own problem, Su Qimeng blushed a little, and her blushing surprised countless people around her. This iceberg school flower is very indifferent to everyone on weekdays. As a result, when facing Chen Yang, he actually blushed. I'm fine. Chen Yang shook his head, ready to leave. Ah, wait. Su Qi dreamed about it, so she gathered up her courage and said, Chen Yang, are you here to participate in the auction? Would you like to join us? No, I was just passing by. Chen Yang rejected her again. Bidding on the original skill book is likely to offend many people, but I am not afraid. But the more trouble, the slower Chen Yang's development speed will be. There is no harm in keeping a low profile as much as possible. So, he still planned to take Sylvie and Isabella to bid in the VIP room. Then, he left with his 2 daughters. Before leaving, he went to the old man Yan Junction who was frozen in gold, and patted him on the shoulder. This scene made the old man tremble with anger. What is his identity as Yan Junction? When did you get such a junior to be disrespectful to yourself? However, now he is suppressed by the terrifying mysterious golden light. Completely immobile, can only watch helplessly, Chen Yang's disrespect to him. Then, Chen Yang took the people away. After turning a corner, he entered the VIP passage from the back door of Hongwu Shopping Mall, and he was relieved until he reached the VIP room of the auction venue. Originally, he didn't expect that something would happen to him. Wasn't he just participating in an auction? The result was unexpected. Su Qimeng's look brought him trouble. And why he didn't hide? It's because he wants to distinguish the hidden identity from the normal identity. If he sneaked into the VIP room, wouldn't that tell Hong Wuliang that he is the genius who can be invisible? So, now Chen Yang is equivalent to creating 3 identities. The first is a normal identity, but this identity now exposes the backstage, and ordinary people should not dare to provoke it, and can block a lot of trouble. The second is the identity of Shenyan. This identity is a genius who has just changed careers and can stealth single copy. Even if someone wants to make trouble, they can't find anyone at all. The third identity is the identity of the god that appeared in Tiana City. This identity is even more mysterious, causing countless bigwigs to talk about it. These 3 identities, whoever it is, they can't get in touch at all. All aspects of the characteristics can be said to be completely different. As such, Chen Yang can hide his god-level talent while obtaining enough development resources to ensure that he will not be targeted by others, and develop smoothly to be truly invincible. And when Chen Yang left, Su Qimeng felt frustrated again. This schoolgirl is not only arrogant, but also a little stubborn. Now that she has identified Chen Yang, she will not change her goals easily. Next, she will only work harder to catch up with Chen Yang. She could see that there was a terrifying backstage behind Chen Yang now. If she didn't work hard, she would soon lose sight of Chen Yang's back. It was the strength that Sylvie showed just now. It has completely crushed her. In just a few days, how far has Chen Yang developed? Nobody knows. Everyone around is talking about Chen Yang's current strength. It's only been a few days since I changed jobs. But he slapped the genius swordsman from Tiana City. And still, let the elf priest stand up and physically hang. This means, Chen Yang's combat power has completely crushed that Lin Zixao. At the same time, upstairs in the Hongwu shopping mall, in Hong Wuliang's office, Lu Yuyao happened to be discussing business with him and wanted to sell him some useless equipment. At this time, they witnessed the scene of Sylvie hanging and beating Lin Zixao together. Even these two strong. After seeing this scene, they are all unbelievable. This kid, are you hanging up? Lu Yuyao and Hong Wuliang couldn't believe it. Chen Yang, it's only been a few days since I changed jobs. Is it that strong now? The speed of that elf priest just now is almost as fast as mine. Lu Yuyao's pretty face was full of surprise. I'm afraid you have some kind of speed talent. Hong Wuliang was also stunned. An elf priest, talent as acceleration. This is so. What about bluffing? But now Hong Wuliang doesn't care about Chen Yang's strength. He looked down, and the Yanzhong mountain, which was frozen into a lump of gold, ran down immediately. Chen Yang's backstage can deal with this Yan Junction casually, but he can't do it with Hong Wuliang. Tiana City, the Lin family, although not a top-level force, but it is not something that Hong Wuliang can provoke. Senior, please raise your hand, how about letting go? Hong Wuliang came to the side of Yanzhong mountain, looked towards the surrounding air, and respectfully shouted, we are also out of anger. When I look back, Chen Yang is buying and selling things with me. I will give you more discounts, don't you think? Actually, Hong Wuliang is also very painful. He also didn't know who was behind Chen Yang, but the other party could make people suddenly bald, squirt in public, and even freeze a more than 100-level boss. This strength is definitely not something he can afford. Even, no one in Zongan City dares to provoke such an existence. At this time, Chen Yang, who was already in the VIP room of the auction venue, surrounded by magical barriers, heard Hong Wuliang's words. I just wanted to give him some face. He raised his hand and closed the astral stagnation halo. So far, the old man who was frozen into a lump of gold, Yan Junction, finally recovered. Quote. After the golden light dissipated, the old man's face instantly turned ashen. For him, today is really a shame. But, the other party's origin is unknown, and he is obviously much stronger than him, and he does not dare to make mistakes at all. Thank you, Boss Hong. Yan Junction thanked Hong Wuliang, then stepped forward, grabbed Lin Zixao like a chicken, turned and walked into the Hongwu shopping mall. Anyway, I still have to participate in this auction today, or will this trip be in vain? Whether it's useful platinum-level equipment, or the final swordsman's original skill book. Must try. As for Lin Zixao's injury, Yan Junction brought some healing medicines with him, a pharmacist from Tiana City. After taking it, he will soon recover. Next, the auction venue. Following the flow of people, Su Qimeng entered the venue and found a seat to sit down. Soon, her teammate, the slightly fat female warrior, also came over. Qimeng, I heard that Chen Yang beat up a genius from the Lin family from Tianai City just now at the door. This slightly fat female warrior has excitement in her eyes. Su Qimeng nodded slightly, but didn't say much. He's grown so fast. The fat female warrior sighed inwardly. She originally thought that Chen Yang would definitely regret not teaming up with Su Qimeng. Now it seems, there are clearly better choices. I just don't know, what kind of fairy is teaming up with Chen Yang to improve Chen Yang. At the same time, Yan Junction and Lin Zixao also sat in a VIP room. Around the auction venue, there are a total of 12 VIP rooms, all of which are full. Some of them are local bosses in Zongan City. Another part. There are forces from Tianai City, and there are powerhouses from other places. The goal of most people is that swordsman's original skill book. In these forces, Lin Zishao's financial resources can only be regarded as mediocre. And these people, no matter what they want to buy at the auction, are a little nervous now, for fear that the things they like will be taken away by others. Only Chen Yang, sitting leisurely in the VIP room, enjoy the service of two women. Isabella sat on his left, pressing his shoulder gently. As for Sylvie, she was also forced by Chen Yang to transfer to a dark magician, and on his right, act obediently. Let this elf girl look depressed. In the first half of the auction, low-level platinum equipment was sold. These equipments were originally sold by Chen Yang to Hong Wuliang, and he naturally had no interest at all. But after midfield, there will be some other special things for sale. Maybe there are some things that Chen Yang can like. In this regard, Chen Yang has no psychological pressure at all. After all, he is carrying a huge sum of more than 155 billion magic crystals. Certainly, there must be people who are as rich as him, or even richer than him. However, no one can make money as fast as him. In just half an afternoon, Chen Yang also opened a halo and mixed up a book, and he got more than 150 billion. Who can earn faster than him? Here he is. Money cannot be money. As long as you can buy that swordsman's original skill book, how about spending 50 billion? But other people may not have the courage and determination. At the same time, in the VIP room next door to Chen Yang, there is a beautiful swordsman in red, who is closing his eyes and resting. Like Chen Yang, this beautiful swordsman is not interested in the things ahead of this auction. The sole purpose of her coming to Zongan City was that, the swordsman origin skill book. This swordsman looks like a 2-year-old swordsman, and his sword eyebrows are star-shaped. If you look closely, he looks a little like the Sha Kingdom swordsman. Auction venue. The burly boss, Hong Wuliang, invited a beautiful girl to preside over the auction. As for himself, he sat in Taichung and sat at the venue. After the auction starts, from time to time, he looked forward to the two VIP rooms upstairs. One is the VIP room where Chen Yang is. The other is the VIP room of the beautiful swordsman in red. Never thought. This swordsman's original skill book has attracted even this one. Hong Wuliang was a little frightened. Of course he knew the identity of the swordsman in red. It is the powerhouse of the town, the granddaughter of Sword Saint Sha, Yu Hongyuan. This one is here. It seems that today's source skill book belongs to her. Hong Wuliang thought. In his opinion, even if the other people in the field add up, I am afraid that they are not qualified to compete with this Yu Hongyuan. The only question is, what is the identity of the big man behind Chen Yang? Certainly, even the big guy behind Chen Yang is qualified to compete with Yu Hongyuan. It may not actually be the case. After all, no matter Chen Yang or Sylvie, this group of people didn't have access to this skill book. The auction is halfway through. Chen Yang kept yawning. But this time, there was a secret scroll that was put on the auction table. Level 30. Diamond level mystery scroll, scale of 20 people. This stuff is good. Chen Yang's eyes lit up. Diamond level rift scrolls need to be in platinum level dungeons or rifts to have a very low probability of dropping. He has already played several platinum level dungeons, and he has never dropped a diamond level mystery scroll, not to mention this is a 20-player mystery scroll. Nowadays, around Zongan City, no more than 5 platinum level dungeons are refreshed every day. As for the gold level dungeon, it can be brushed 60 or 70. There are more copies of silver and bronze. Therefore, high-quality resources must be competed. In Zongan City, it is basically free competition. Whoever grabs it will fight. Anyway, there are only a few teams that have the strength to clear the customs. There are now level 30 diamond level mystery scrolls. Chen Yang will not miss it. If this level of Secret Realm has to wait for the field to refresh, I am afraid that it will take several days to get one. Then, Chen Yang made a direct offer. Spend 6.5 million magic crystals to bid on this scroll. Things are very cheap, and Chen Yang doesn't care about this cost at all. As everyone knows, when he took this scroll, Hong Wuliang glanced at the VIP room where he was, and was secretly shocked. Have you already started playing the level 30 diamond level Secret Realm? It seems, Chen Yang's growth rate is faster than he imagined. until 9:30 in the evening. The other things in this auction have finally been auctioned off, and Hong Wuliang can be said to be making a lot of money. But, if you really want to talk about making money, maybe all the things in front of you can't compare to the last one. The Swordsman's original skill book, The Unparalleled Sword Formation. When the beautiful girl presides over the auction, the attributes of this skill book will be made public. The whole venue is boiling. Unparalleled Sword Formation Origin. Open a sword formation and launch 10 sword energy attacks per second on the monsters in the sword formation, causing a lot of physical damage, lasting 10 seconds, and cooling for 300 seconds. Level upgrade. The number of sword attacks per second is increased, the damage is increased, the duration is increased, and the range is increased. After reaching level 20, the sword attack ignores defense. Initially attacks 10 times per second. Each level increases the number of sword attacks per second by 10. That is to say, if this skill reaches level 20, can launch 200 sword attacks per second. What kind of terrifying sword formation is this? In the VIP room next to Chen Yang, the beautiful swordsman in red, Yu Hongyuan, finally opened his eyes. Seeing the attributes of this skill book, I am quite satisfied. Now, the auction of the original skill book has begun. The starting price is 10 billion magic crystals, and each increase shall not be less than 1 billion magic crystals. With the beautiful host shouting. Immediately, there were several VIP rooms, and the price was shouted. 10 billion, 11 billion, 13 billion, ... Chen Yang was not in a hurry. He is also very jealous of the attributes of this skill. The level 20 special effect is actually ignoring defense. This is too fierce. Chen Yang has a god-level aura. After turning on the aura, all surrounding enemies are weakened by 90% defense. It seems that it is not as good as the effect of this unparalleled sword formation. Certainly, if it really compares, the effect of the god-level halo is definitely stronger, and the versatility is wider, but it cannot be denied that the strength of this unparalleled sword formation skill. And when Lin Zhixiao reached a price of 16 billion, the field suddenly quieted down. Until then, Yu Hongyuan only bid slowly, 17 billion. Her cold voice spread throughout the audience, but naturally, in this small Zongan city, no one could tell her identity. Only the old man next to Lin Zhixiao, Yan Junction. The old man has always closed his eyes indifferently. But when she heard Yu Hongyuan's voice, she suddenly opened her eyes and looked towards the VIP room. This voice, could it be? The old man Yan Junction's face became horrified. Uncle Yan, who is it? Lin Zhixiao was a little curious. Yu Hongyuan, Yan Junction said solemnly. It seems that we can't grab this skill book. Yu Hongyuan. When Lin Zhixiao heard the name, he was immediately shocked. The granddaughter of the national level Sha Gojan also came here to shoot the skill book. Who dares to steal this? Even if he wanted to rob, it was impossible to rob the other party. No one could imagine how rich Yu Hongyuan's family was. But, it was at this time. Another cold female voice came out, 18 billion. It was from the VIP room next to Yu Hongyuan. This is Chen Yang asking Isabella to simulate the voice of Ao Qingyu and be responsible for bidding. He didn't know who was next door. Anyway, today, this skill book, he is determined to get it. 109 billion. Yu Hongyuan continued to bid, her face was calm. But soon, her face became a little unbearable. Because, the woman in the VIP room next door, every time she increased the price, she did not hesitate to top the price. 3 billion. At this price, Yu Hongyuan's face was already a little ugly. Because, although this source skill book is powerful, it can't reach this price. But, continue to increase the price next door. 301 billion. It sounds very relaxed, not in a hurry at all, obviously there is still some spare energy left. 32 billion. Finally, the next door bid went to 40 billion. This made Yu Hongyuan patted the table, stood up with a bang, stretched out her hand to pick up her sword, and walked outside the VIP room. In Kyoto City, she is known as the Goddess Swordsman. Also known in private as the Powder Girl. Because, how hot is her figure, how hot is her temper. Often a little thing can make her violent and beat up. And now, Yu Hongyuan deeply doubted that someone was against her, otherwise, how could someone spend 40 billion to buy a skill book? Then, her fiery temper came up all of a sudden. Pick up the weapon and go out. At this time, Chen Yong has turned on the aura of God's vision, observing the VIP room next door from the perspective of God. Of course he didn't know Yu Hongyuan. After all, he had never been in that circle since he was a child. Now there are only 2 competitions left. Chen Yong observes who the other party is. Isn't it too much? No one will find out anyway. Result: just saw that beautiful swordsman in red, actually picked up the long sword and wanted to walk out of the room angrily. What is she doing? Eating gunpowder is this? Chen Yong looked at the other party's expression and could feel the other party's anger. Good fair competition, shouldn't she want to fight? In order to prevent outgrowth of branches. Chen Yong raised his hand. God-level halo. Dream soundly. This is a life aura that can put nearby designated units to sleep when turned on. The reason why it's not a battle aura. Because the target in this sleeping state will wake up once they feel the killing intent. Usually, this halo is used for allies. For example, the elf princess Sylvie is not good at night, and she swipes her phone until midnight. Chen Yong can use this halo to make her sleep obediently, which has a strong sleeping effect. But now, Chen Yong opened this halo. Directly designate the target as Yu Hongyuan next door. Go to sleep for me. Then, this beautiful swordsman picked up the long sword, and just wanted to go out. She fell to the ground limply, fell asleep on the spot. It looks like she doesn't plan to increase the price. It's better to do less than one thing, get the skill book and leave. Chen Yong thought lightly. In this case, Chen Yong took it for granted that at the price of 40 billion magic crystals, fair competition, the original skill book, Unparalleled Sword Array, was auctioned. This situation surprised many people. In one of the VIP rooms, Yan Zhengxian and Lin Zixao looked strange. The old and the young never thought that Yu Hongyuan would give up this skill book. And who is in the VIP room next to her? To pay 40 billion to buy this skill book? Certainly, no matter what, they don't dare to interfere in this matter. If they don't do it well, it will bring disaster to the Lin family. As for the burly and strong man on the auction floor, Hong Wuliang was also confused. He was the only one in the audience who knew that in the VIP room, it was Chen Yong who finally photographed the skill book. He didn't understand at all. Why does Chen Yong compete with Yu Hongyuan? Raise the price so high. He didn't expect that Yu Hongyuan would give up in the end. Due to the respect for the VIPs, each VIP room has a magical barrier to shield detection. So no one knew that Yu Hongyuan was already asleep now. After a few minutes, the auction is over, let's go. Chen Yong took the 2 daughters and went to the backstage from the VIP channel and met Hong Wuliang alone. 4 billion magic crystals. The original skill book, Unparalleled Sword Formation. One-handed payment, one-handed delivery. Certainly. The number of 40 billion magic crystals is too many, and Hong Wuliang's storage belt can't hold it, so he can only temporarily pile it in the grocery room of the shopping mall, and let him handle it slowly. That's right, Chen Yong. Hong Wuliang couldn't help but said, the price of this skill book is actually too high. It's okay, little money. Chen Yong didn't care. Anyway, the 40 billion is a fraction of his current deposit, and he will have more and more deposits in the future, which is not bad. Hearing this, Hong Wuliang was a little startled. 40 billion magic crystals, small money. The power behind Chen Yong is too rich, isn't it? Okay, but this time you are fighting the price with the opposite side, and you are fighting a little harder. Hong Wuliang reminded. The other side is notoriously hot-tempered, you have to be careful. Hot temper. Chen Yong just saw it, or he can't let people sleep. But, since Hong Wuliang made a special trip to remind, it means that the identity of the other party is probably not ordinary. Thank you Uncle Hong, I'll go first. Chen Yong nodded calmly and turned to leave. At the same time, God's vision aura is on. While leaving the mall through the back door, he went around to listen for news from God's perspective. Soon, he learned the identity of the woman in red from the mouths of Yan Zhengxian and Lin Zixao. Yu Hongyuan, granddaughter of Sword Saint Xia. Sigh, even Chen Yong didn't expect that the woman in red would have such a background. Forget it, forget it. She fell asleep at the auction herself, what does it have to do with me? The granddaughter of the dignified sword Saint Sha, can't help but be reasonable, right? Anyway, the skill book has already arrived. Chen Yang slipped away straight away. Go back to learn from Ao Qingyu first, and enter the level 30 team's secret realm to level up first. It was after Chen Yang left, about half an hour later. The follow-up transaction procedures for the auction have finally been processed. When Hong Wuliang asked people to clean the venue, they finally found Yu Hongyuan sleeping by the door in the VIP room. When the beautiful auction hostess told Hong Wuliang the news, this burly man was dumbfounded. In a trough, this woman actually fell asleep during the auction. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.